Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on the new Star Wars canon. Joining me, as always, are Josh, the Tosh, internet famous, Mason.
Hi.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
And the lovely Jennifer VanAutreve.
Hello.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about Episode 4 of Star Wars Rebels.
Season 3.
Season 3, sorry. Hera's Heroes is the title of this episode. Who's going to give the synopsis?
You are.
I am. Okay, well, so basically what we'll do in this episode is review the episode, give a summary, review it, discuss some of the finer points, and then we'll do listener letters. That'll be that.
No neutral letters?
I said listener letters.
Right, no neutral ones.
What's that?
That's a question. Like just a letter from a stranger?
I guess I could read some of my spam mail.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
That seems like a waste of time, much like where this conversation went. So in this episode, essentially what happens is Hera is on her home planet. And
What's her home planet?
Ryloth. And she is with Cham Syndulla, her father. They're racing around and they race to their aid.
They're riding blurgs.
They're riding blurgs. Ooh, good Lord.
They're like
I just flipped the camera around and realized what I look like this morning.
Flip it back quick.
Flipped.
So we're going to get interactive. This is what a blurg looks like.
Oh.
They look like
There's a blurg.
kind of.
We're live streaming on Periscope.
It looks like a T-Rex with...
It looks like a dinosaur.
Instead of having a neck and a head, his head's just his torso.
It's like his face kind of looks like more like
fish.
a newt or something. I don't know. Yeah, with teeth.
Almost all animals have teeth.
Do newts?
Yeah.
Not like sharp razor teeth like that. I don't know.
He looks like a T-Rex that instead of having a neck,
He has a fish
his fish face is in the torso.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You got T-Rex.
But they're
legs.
cool. I love them. I love the blurgs.
So Cham is riding a blurg, and with his partner, his buddy,
Gobi.
his fellow rebel rouser,
Yeah.
and they end up getting rescued by the ghost, and they get up on the ship, and it turns out that the Empire has infiltrated Cham Syndulla's and Hera's house from their childhood home. He's a longtime politician, and he has essentially a giant military compound. And they what?
It sounded like
that
he threw
noise you
up or
made, yeah.
something.
That was a burp. Kind of. So anyway, they have their calicori.
gross.
Is that what it's called? Calicori?
That's this thing.
Hera asks right away if he was able to escape with the calicori, and he says no. And so she wants to go back and get it. And it's this family heirloom that's passed down from generation to generation. It's like a piece of art, and every generation adds to it, and then they just keep passing it down. It's supposed to be like a priceless heirloom within your family. So she wants to go back and get it, and then they all volunteer to help her, and then they go. And her and Ezra dresses up like a Imperial
stormtrooper.
officer,
Yeah, like a scout trooper.
and Chopper is supposed to do something with
He's
his
repainted.
screwdrivers.
He's black and white. He's repainted to be like an Imperial
And you
droid.
find out that Harris took Chopper from an Imperial Y-wing.
It wasn't an Imperial Y-Wing.
Oh,
It was a Y-Wing that landed there during the Clone Wars. We already knew
Crashed.
that.
It crashed.
well, you
there.
get
Yeah.
to see it, and
We
then
get to
you,
see the
like,
actual
Chopper
Y-wing.
like gets all flustered.
He has all PTSD.
So who had him? A separatist?
No,
or
he was in
something?
the Clone Army.
Oh, well, what you get to see like the ship that he came from when Hera salvaged him or whatever.
Right.
So go ahead, Tim. Finish with your synopsis.
So Ezra and Hera infiltrate the compound. The rest of the crew and the conspirators, Cham and them, create a diversion, and they they effectively break in, and Thrawn is there, and in a very tense scene, identifies Hera as Hera, and while he's there, and they capture him, and they eventually get away. Essentially, Hera and Ezra get away, blowing up part of the house in the process, and they escape on a ship. And Thrawn, we find out that he essentially let them go yet again because he's still in the process of learning about them. And we learn that Thrawn's sense of victory is really, he considers a win just getting a piece of information.
He's playing the long game.
Right. Like we've said before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he, Thrawn, much to his Legends character, he identifies Hera basically through the art. So that Kalikori, the thing that looks, like Jennifer pointed out before we started recording, a mix between an abacus and a baby rattle. It really does. And like a Burning Man.
It looks like a T.
It looks like a T with
With big earrings.
with big hoop earrings.
There you go. That's what it is.
So when they catch Hera, she acts like she's a peasant, and the officer in charge there, not Thrawn, but the other officer,
Slavin.
he, just yells at her to get back to the kitchens or whatever. And then he thinks that she just like stole the what is it called? The
Kalikori.
Kalikori. He thinks she just stole it. So she pretends like she stole it to sell it for money. But Thrawn, who's studied their culture, knows that it's useless for anybody outside the family. And so that's how he outs her. And he's with this moron, and he keeps, I don't know, it's funny because like you could tell he hates this officer, and he keeps correcting him. And then after he catches Hera and Ezra, he's like, okay, I'm going to leave him up to you now, and then just leaves. And he has to know he's going to mess it up. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think he does know.
Yeah.
And he does it probably on purpose because he knows that he's gonna let him get away, essentially, because they'll escape, because there's always friends waiting, as Thrawn points out. When else do you think the art is going to come into play in Thrawn hunting them down?
I don't know. It's more culture than just art.
But he learns about the culture through the art.
Sure.
I think that Sabine, having gone through and basically used her graffiti on everything since she started, or since the show started, I think that's going to come into play.
Maybe.
He'll be able to track the pattern that way.
Maybe.
What else do you guys want to say about this episode?
I think we covered all the major things. There wasn't.
So she still didn't get her Kalikari.
No, Thrawn has it.
Thrawn wanted to keep it.
Thrawn
He's
took it.
collecting.
Yeah, he's got it on his ship in his art gallery.
Yep.
So that'll probably come up again.
Maybe. If they run into Thrawn again.
If they
Well,
run into
we
Thrawn
didn't talk
again.
about. So once they had captured, once they had her and Ezra, the officer
He wanted to trade.
made a deal with her father so that they can make a swap or whatever, and they knew it was a trap, but he was going to sacrifice himself for Hera.
Mhm.
And with this, they have come a long way, because in the beginning they were like kind of, I don't know, it seemed like they hadn't even spoken in years. And anyway, he was going to sacrifice himself knowing that it was a trap just to get her out of there. And at the same time, Hera made a plan, so she has Chopper put these explosives all over her childhood home because she knew it was going to be a trap. And she basically had Chopper blow the house up so that they could all get away together. So,
Yeah.
just more deets.
Stuff happened,
people
but it's
who
not
don't
that
watch it.
important. We covered the important stuff.
I thought it was interesting that Chopper had some form of PTSD.
Yeah. It was weird.
It was strange to see a droid tortured beyond sort of, I don't know. Like you see R2 and them in in the movies, and his emotions feel a little teeny bit programmed, even as if he's programmed to respond that way. But this seemed something beyond that.
Well, in that C3PO comic, you know that they all remember.
Yeah.
They all have somewhat of memory of their old lives, no matter how many times they're reprogrammed. They have like visions of the past where they've been.
Yeah, and they're different owners and things. Do you think eventually the droids are going to have some sort of revolution?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think the fact that they seem to have their own emotional...
I think they would have already had a revolution if they were going to.
I bet at some point somebody brings it up where there's like a droid liberation, and that creates a giant...
Like Terminator?
Yeah, a giant fight. And then we have Clone Wars Part 2, where it's essentially going up against...
I think you should wait until you watch the next episode.
What? Something happened with that?
There's, in the last battle, there's stuff that happens that involve droids.
Ooh. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. You still haven't watched it. Or the next
Uh-oh.
one.
No, we're behind.
Just declined Nolan's phone call.
Yeah, I know. It's because we're live streaming and we're podcasting.
He's probably calling to tell us who's starting at, nickel cornerback for the Bears and how he went to college and only played 3 times as a wide receiver.
He's been on a camp out all weekend. He's been off the grid.
My point stands.
I haven't talked to him. We have to pick him up today. He's been out in the middle of nowhere, and Tim just ignored his phone
He's been out
call.
in the middle of exactly where you know where he is.
I don't
Yes.
know where he is.
He's been...
He's been in the wilderness.
Yeah, the wilderness. No less than 5 minutes from a Starbucks.
Probably somewhere nobody's ever even stepped foot before.
Yeah,
He
probably.
was in Starved Rock.
Yeah.
We're from Central Illinois. Somebody asked on the feed.
On the Periscope?
Yeah, someone also asked on the Periscope for Jen to sing Tupac, but
I don't think she knows a
I didn't
single
think-
word from a single song
What?
from Tupac.
Oh,
I didn't
you're
think she
crazy.
did either, so I didn't ask. Do you want to do Tupac?
I was just listening to Tupac the other day.
All right, then sing a song. Sing a bar.
I can't sing and I have a sore throat, so it'd be even worse.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I don't really know Tupac. What? Why would somebody bring that up?
I don't know.
There's been a bunch of weirdos on here today. They said a lot of stuff.
There must not be much on Periscope right about this time of day.
Was anybody that we know on there?
Yeah, somebody wants you to sing a song for me. Some said, Allie Burke 42 says, sing a song for me.
Oh my God, no. My husband has made fun of me since the day we've met about how horrible my voice is. So
That's because Tim thinks he's an angel.
he thinks he's a musical god. That's
that
for
is
sure.
super not true compared to your tone deafness.
See?
Yes, I am.
This is why I won't sing.
Okay. Ready to rate it? I'm ready to rate it.
Yeah. I would say a 6, but only a 6 because of the blurgs. It's a 5 without the blurgs.
Really that poor?
I thought
Yeah, it was just kind of a boring episode. There really, aside from the 3 minutes of Thrawn, it was pretty much, we went to Ryloth, stuff happened, we left Ryloth.
Yeah, I don't really like Hera's dad in general.
Cham?
But
Yeah,
it was just
I don't
kinda
like Harry's.
eh.
No one was ever in peril. You knew nothing was ever going to happen. It was just, it's kind of a filler.
Episode.
It's a bridge episode.
Yep, definitely a bridge. I liked it a lot better than that. Maybe
you should give it a number that's higher than 6.
I'm going to. I'm going to give it a 7.
That's not a lot higher than a 6.
Oh, this
I'll say 7.5.
this guy wants to know if we live in a wooden tent. No, we just
It is.
we just record in one.
We record in a wooden tent.
I never even thought about that. That's awesome.
Down in the South, this
Isn't
style is
by
like...
definition a tent not wooden ever?
No, I don't think so.
Can you have a tent that's made of wood?
Sure.
I don't know why not. Let's see what the Google says. But down in the South, like old Southern ladies would come in here and just lose their heart would melt. This style, slat wood, is super in.
Oh, good. Well,
This is just
good
an
thing they're so
attic.
hip.
It's an attic that's been painted.
It's an attic. It's made of
Been
wood.
repurposed. Yeah. This person really wants you to sing. Like you
It's not going to happen.
can,
A tent is a portable shelter made of cloth supported by one or more poles and stretched tightly by cords or loops.
Cloth. There you go.
I didn't build a roof through the door.
It could be.
That's just how it
It could be a verb. The second definition of the verb is, especially of traveling circus people, live in a tent.
We have a traveling podcast. Oh, that would explain why we're in such a crappy little room.
We'll
all
go
the
tent
time.
for the evening.
You know, if this was insulated, it'd be much nicer.
It's not that bad. When it
Today.
gets really cold, it's bad in here.
Yeah.
You gotta wear coats.
Yeah.
That's why I have my stocking cap on.
Yeah. All right. Did you rate it?
7.5.
All right.
She liked it more than you, apparently.
I didn't really. I don't know. I didn't like it that much. 7.25, maybe more like it.
We're going to do the letter. Here, take your phone.
Now you get to show them the angel voice.
All right, here we
right.
go.
Sing for us, Tim.
No, I've had a sore
Oh,
throat.
I got a sore throat too.
Yeah.
This is from Nathan Baker. He says, "Hey guys, I discovered your podcast a few weeks ago and I've been listening to it on my daily commute pretty heavily. I didn't realize that you guys were from Central Illinois. I live in Champaign. I'd love to meet up with you guys to see Rogue One."
Just sing, they said, Tim. Say, come on, Tim, just sing.
Oh.
What's this podcast about?
I don't know any Tupac.
Guess what the
it's
podcast
about
is
Star
about.
Wars, the new canon. That we're talking today about Star Wars Rebels.
Our
season.
podcast is Star Wars Nerds Unite.
Star Wars Nerds Unite is our podcast.
So, to Nathan, yes, we are from Central Illinois, and we're going to watch it at the rave
Most likely.
in Peoria. But
Cool.
we are. Where else are we going to?
Surefire's from Springfield, Illinois.
What if there's
Oh,
a
cool.
super mega IMAX thing and we get it for free?
Well, then I would go to that.
All right,
We'll
that's
update
what I'm
you
saying.
Closer to the date, maybe.
Yeah, right now,
Just up-
tentatively, we are going to be watching it at rave, and we'll be there probably all day, waiting in line.
Yeah.
Excited. So, if anybody wants to meet up, we'll give you more info as we.
What's
get closer.
weird is we
Yes,
don't
it's an
really
iPhone
count
to-
Champaign as part of being Central Illinois.
I don't. I
Yeah,
consider
it's-
it more Eastern, but
I consider it the South.
really,
South.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an iPhone 7.
What a random question.
This is from Cocksmith Prime. He says, having kids leads to responsibilities. Responsibilities lead to working. Working leads to no free time. No free time leads to not recording podcasts. No new podcasts lead to the dark side.
The irony is we didn't record because they were on vacation for the last 2 weeks. So they were enjoying
Yeah, we
free
were
time
shirking our children
and not being parents.
and not going to work.
Well, no, I
Oh, yeah,
was
he
working.
was working
Yeah,
technically.
work.
It was still work. But yes, I agree. That is the dark side. It's been almost 3 weeks since we posted an episode. I'm sorry. It was completely my fault.
But we also got sick. I'm sick.
Yeah.
I have an ear infection. Tim has
Who- are
got
these-
a sniffle.
I found those at the Kalahari in Wisconsin Dells outside in the winter.
Yeah.
They have this outdoor swim out pool but connected to the bar. And I went out there and there were these abandoned green sunglasses with bottle openers.
Somebody
Yeah.
probably went to the bathroom and was
Yeah.
coming right
No,
back. And
because I
Tim
was out
stole
there.
Them.
I was out there for like 45 minutes and no one came to claim them. So I took them.
He was out there by himself. I don't even know where I was. But
Two-fisted drinking
they
time.
work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't lose your bottle opener.
I don't know why you'd have a bottle opener because you're not allowed to have glass on a beach. So go
Yeah,
fig.
it's probably for like float trips and stuff.
Yeah,
You're
where
not supposed to take
allowed
glass
have
in
glass.
rivers.
Well, if you wear those glasses, obviously you're a rebel.
God.
Are you? Letters at starwarsnerdsunite.com. You too can be read on the air. Next letter is also from Coxtimus. He says, just curious if you guys have seen any of the fan films on YouTube, like the following.
Surefire wants to know if you've tried to open 2 bottles at once.
That's what I just said.
No.
Two-fisted drinking time.
No, I have not ever tried to open 2. It actually didn't work very well with 1, to be quite truthful.
It's very flimsy plastic.
You had to really like support it in order to open the bottle.
That's funny.
And then he links to a very, very well-made fan film. Hoshino, Star Wars fan film, has 642,000 views. It essentially tells the tale of a Padawan who is now blind, and she's putting together her lightsaber and then dueling someone. But the cinematography, I think, is the best part of that particular fan film. There isn't honestly much story there, and the main Jedi, he's kind of a dork.
Yeah, I don't really watch fan films. I don't.
So this is just completely made by random people.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like a film student or something.
Yeah.
But or somebody who has graduated film school. It literally was very good cinematography especially for something that was put together by a rando. Cocksmith wants to know what we think of these. The one posted was pretty darn well done, I think. Also, what would be a fan film you'd like to see done?
I'm going to let Google auto reply with I like them both, even though he only sent one option.
Don't Google auto reply him.
I am live.
Oh, man.
I'm live Google auto replying.
I'll say thanks. I'll check them out.
The Surefire asked if it costs and or pays to podcast. It definitely costs.
Yeah, it is not a money-making proposition.
We haven't made any money, really.
We haven't tried to make money.
We haven't,
that is
some
also
people
true.
can market themselves.
The biggest podcasts make tons of money.
Yeah.
But we're not either big or looking to make money. Usually supported by ads or...
Yeah, they have a lot of advertisement or they sell Star Wars junk. What do we have to pay for?
Hosting.
Hosting.
That's pretty much it.
Hosting and the equipment.
Yeah.
The gears. We have some sweet gears.
Yeah, we do.
VSI is a company that Tim works for.
It's Vanaken Services.
Vanaken
Inc.
Services. He's a director of technology. There.
People, man.
There.
I didn't realize I was wearing my logo.
That's why I never wear affiliated clothing to where I work. Ever.
I'm not at work.
I know. But I don't want people asking me where I work.
Back to the letter.
This is content. This is fan feedback.
He's the director of technology at VSI.
I understand. So the YouTube video, I thought this, like I said, was really well done. If I had to have a fan film made, I'd like to see the tale of our times in Tyrena, outside Tyrena, as we expand that universe and basically build the suburb of Sea Deli City.
We didn't build Sea Deli City outside of Tyrena, though.
No, what we should have, and I was really mad we didn't.
I think VSI is always hiring. He wants to know if they're hiring.
But probably not for technology.
It's very, very small technology department.
They're more providing of services.
It's a building service contractor.
Yeah.
All right. Next letter is from Lady Meg. This is a long letter. She says, wow, this letter got long. Now that you guys are super famous and get a bazillion letters, let me say that I really don't mind if you don't read this on the air.
We're reading it.
I'm going to read it. I've been trying to stick with tweeting at you since you stopped reading tweets on the air, and then I don't feel like I'm taking up the precious time that could be used to include more comments from other listeners. Why would you care about that? Just send emails. I'm already #Nerd Squadron First Class. I suppose I don't need my name mentioned in every other podcast.
She said, wow, she's mad.
Who's mad?
I think they think Meg's mad.
I don't know why.
Like she's being sarcastic or something.
No, she's not.
She's not being sarcastic. She's being sincere.
I finally finished this book. The Bloodline episode feedback is what this is on.
This is a book we read a long time ago.
Yeah, we did an episode. I really appreciated the detailed synopsis you guys did, since I read half of the library ebook in the last hours before my checkout expired, and the result was lots of fuzzy chapters near the end. I agree with Tim that Claudia Gray is one of my favorite Star Wars authors. I don't think I ever said that. Claudia Gray was one of her favorite Star Wars authors.
I don't either.
Just kidding.
You said it was your favorite.
Bloodline definitely ranks near the top of my Star Wars new canon book list. Me too. I really loved how the two seemingly unrelated storylines between Leia Casterfo and Leia Carice merge later in the book. I thought Carice's role was going to be something simple, like Casterfo would confide in her thinking she's one of his allies, and then Carice would end up betraying him and Leia to the Senate. What actually happened was just heartbreaking, and I can't believe how quickly I became invested in Leia and Casterfo's friendship. I think that speaks to Claudia Gray's writing ability, truthfully.
It's weird that she uses Carice's first name but Ransom's last name.
Why?
It's just weird.
That's how she identifies with him.
Well, they always call her Lady Carice, right? They don't really ever call her by her first name. I don't.
That is her first name. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Carice is her first name.
Oh.
Ransom is Ransom Casterfo's first name.
Mm-hmm.
I, too, thought the relationship between them had hints of attraction. I was really glad it didn't go anywhere. Me too. But I definitely noticed the moments like Leia admiring Casterfo's good looks. Several times when I worried that things might be drifting too far towards romance, Leia suddenly mentioned something about Han. Speaking of Han, I'm glad he got to have some action in the story instead of just being in messages with Leia. I also like that this book starts to fill in the holes from The Force Awakens. Now we know more about what happened between Leia and the Senate. We know for sure that everyone knows how Luke, Leia, and Vader are related, and we have maybe some better ideas about what turned Ben to the dark side. What happens when he learns about his grandfather? Or is it like Josh says and Luke had already told him? Either way, it could be interesting, and I hope we get to see the story of Ben's childhood sooner rather than later. One thing I found interesting... Sorry, you just have to...
I was just going to say, we probably won't get his childhood story until, like, the end of episode 9.
Really? You don't think we'll get some of it in episode 8?
I don't think so. I think, well, maybe we'll get little... I'm saying like a book.
Oh, yeah.
We won't get a fully fleshed out thing until the movie's
Until it's over, yeah. One thing I found interesting is that even characters in the book are questioning how easily the Death Star was destroyed. Do you think Rogue One might reveal that someone on the inside was working to help the rebels and built in a flaw deliberately? Or if not, at least we might see some Imperial construction workers discussing whether there is a design in their flaw or a flaw in their design, or discussing whether it's something small and well protected enough and they don't have to worry about changing things.
I think we'll find out that somebody designed flaw.
Yeah, because it was
Jin's father,
right? So I would imagine that he probably intentionally built one in
and told them about it.
Oh, Joel
Right.
Shetman joined.
Hi,
What's up, Joel?
Somebody we actually know. Hi.
All you other weirdos.
Well, no, I mean, I
he's
think other
mustering.
people just like randomly were.
Yeah, but they listened and
Yeah.
participated.
They did. That was good.
Josh, if you want an audiobook with a good Han voice, you should check out Smuggler's Run. I didn't think the story was the best. It's not. But I was super impressed with the way it was read. It was read well. Looking forward to more Rebels podcasts someday soon. How about today, Lady Meg? May the Force be with you, Lady Meg. Hashtag Nerd Squadron First Class. Thank you for the email.
She doesn't have a call sign, though.
Well, it's Lady Meg.
Oh, Joel's gone already.
No.
He said he was just stopping by to say hi.
That's sad. Hi, Joel.
Bye, Joel.
All right. I think that's it for today.
I want to add some fan stuff. We found out on Halloween that some of Nolan's new friends are like actual listeners, and they listen to like every podcast.
Yeah.
Like these
Like the
kids,
kids?
in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
these high school kids. And one of their names is Clay.
Hi, Clay.
Hi, Clay. He was like, he was just sitting in our living room, and out of nowhere, he was like, "You guys are always talking about Kanan." I'm like, okay. And he really do listen. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I got a phone call in the middle. Sorry.
So he doesn't
So-
like Kanan?
No, he does. He's just like,
Yeah, we did a
he's
lot
just
of
like,
Kanan
"You guys
episodes
are
all in a
always
row."
talking about Kanan. But he knew his stuff. He's had listened to every single episode.
Did Nolan get him onto it, or did he get onto it?
Nolan told him about it, but Nolan has probably only listened to like maybe 2.
He hasn't
Well,
even
why
listened
would-
to full episodes.
He doesn't really listen to us at all. He thinks
Right.
it's lame. And
I
he
would too.
But then at the same time, he thinks his teacher is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's always like trying to like make me feel bad because I'm not as good as
His teacher
his teacher
who
who
gets to be in Target
is in
commercials.
London for some mystery Star Wars mission that he told his students he's going to London for something to do with Star Wars, but he wouldn't tell them what. And he always is rubbing that stuff in my face, but he won't listen to anything. One of his friends was like, yeah, we listened to the Force Awakens episode. It was really good.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll be doing one on Rogue One coming up.
yeah, we told them to send in emails, but
They didn't.
Kids don't have that kind of attention.
oh, Joel Shetman joined back in.
He must have felt guilty for leaving. What else do we have to say? Follow us on Twitter at StarWarsNU. We'll be live periscoping our recordings if you want to join in sometime. We are email us, like I said earlier in the episode, letters@starwarsnerdsunite.com, and you too can join in on this wonderful Star Wars conversation that we have hopefully once a week or more. And what else? What else we got to talk about?
Your networks.
Our networks, BenView Network, a lot of pop culture nerd related podcasts on that, and we're also on the Retro Junkies Network, which is a podcast network dedicated to old school gaming. Somehow we got on there, so love it.
Because we're sweet.
Yep. And StarWarsNerdsUnite.com. If you go there, there's an Amazon link. If you buy your stuff through Amazon, through our link, we get a teeny little piece, and that helps us pay for hosting. So if you ever do that, that's very much appreciated. Otherwise, I think that's it, fellas.
Fellas. Fella singular.
Bruz.
Fella, and what's the feminine term of fella?
Ladies?
Lady?
I don't think so. Gals?
Yeah, probably gal.
Yeah, you're right. Well, fellas and gals, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenViewNetwork.com.